Kamsi grew up in Enugu with her widowed mother, Madam Ebere, and two younger siblings. Life was not fancy, but they had enough. Madam Ebere was a well-known trader in the market. She was tough, disciplined, and she had high hopes for her first daughter. After her husband's death, she swore to raise her children with whatever it takes. They were not poor, but they were also not rich. Madam Ebere sold foodstuff in the markets, bags of rice, beans, yams, and palm oil. She woke up early every day, tied her wrapper, and faced her small shop with pride. It was not easy, but she made sure her children went to school. She always said, "Education is the only thing that I can give you that no one can take away." Kamsi grew up with this mindset. She studied so hard and graduated with good grades. She was calm, respectful, and had quiet strengths that people admired. After her youth service, she got a job in a private firm. Her salary was not much, but she managed herself and even sent money home from time to time. Kamsi has been in a serious relationship for 2 years. The man's name was Jidena. He worked at a small tech startup. He was intelligent, kind, and full of dreams. He didn't earn much, but he was hardworking and always talking about a better future. Kamsi believed in him. She believed in the kind of love that grows with time and patience. One morning, she called her mother. "Mama, I want to come home this weekend." "Ah, you want to visit? That's good. I miss you," her mother replied. "I'm not coming alone, Mama." "Who is coming with you?" she said. "There's someone I want you to meet." Madam Ebere didn't ask too many questions. "All right, my daughter, come home." That Saturday, Kamsi and Jidena arrived at her family house. It was a simple house with flowers by the gates. Children were playing outside and the neighbors greeted them as they walked in. Madam Ebere came out immediately. "My daughter, welcome," she said as she hugged Kamsi tightly. "I'm fine, Mama," Kamsi replied, smiling. Then she looked at Jidena, who was standing behind her. "Mama, meet Jidena." The young man greeted respectfully. "Good afternoon, ma. It's an honor to meet you. I've heard a lot about you." "You are welcome, my son. Come inside, both of you." They sat in the living room. The TV was on, but the volumes was low. Madam Ebere brought them malt and biscuits, the way she welcomed guests. She looked at Jidena with sharp but curious eyes. "So, what do you do?" she asked. "I worked in a tech startup company, ma." "I build softwares for companies." "Oh, okay. That is interesting," she said slowly. The conversation continued, but Madam Ebere was watching and listening carefully. Later that evening, after they had eaten dinner and Jidena had gone to stay in a nearby guest house, she called her daughter into the bedroom. "Kamsi, sit down." Kamsi sat. "That young man you brought today, do you love him?" "Yes, Mama, I do." "Is he the one you want to marry?" "Yes." Madam Ebere kept quiet for a while. Then she looked straight into her daughter's eye. "Kamsi, does he have money? How much is he collecting per month?" Kamsi replied, "Mama, he is collecting 50,000 naira for now, but we hope they will soon increase his salary. He does not have much now, but he is serious about his work. I know he is going somewhere." "Kamsi," her mother said slowly, "I am not trying to spoil your joy, but let me tell you the truth. Marriage is not only by love. Love is sweet, but it will not feed you. It will not pay your house rent, and it won't send your children to school. Is this how you want to live your life? Mama, I believe in him. I believe in his future. That was the same thing I had when I was your age. I believe in him. But look at me now. I suffered. I carried 3 children alone after your father died. No help, no support. Don't follow emotions. Think and use your head. Kamsi lowered her eyes. I am your mother. Madam Ebere continued. I have seen life. I am not saying the boy is bad though. But if you want peace, marry someone who is stable, someone who can take care of you. That boy is still struggling. Kamsi nodded slowly, but she knows she will follow her heart eventually. After the visit, Kamsi returned to Lagos with a heavy heart. She was quiet throughout the bus ride, leaning her head on the window, watching the trees pass by, but her mind was not at rest. Her mother's voice kept ringing in her ears like a bell. When she got to Lagos, Kamsi stayed silent for a few days and barely spoke to Jidena. One evening while she was doing laundry, Jidena came and sat beside her. Kamsi, he said softly, talk to me. You have not been yourself since we returned. She kept quiet for a while, raising a towel slowly. Then she said, it is Mama. Jidena nodded. She does not approve me, right? She said you don't have money, and she does not want me to suffer like she did. Then Jidena said, I know I don't have much now, but I have plans. Come see, I am not lazy. I am working hard, and I know where I am going. Kamsi looked at him. Sometimes I wish you were already rich, so I won't have to choose between my mother and the man I love. He replied, give me time, babe. We will build something together. It won't always be like this. That night, Kamsi couldn't sleep. She thought about her mother's pain, the night of crying alone, the years of hustling just to feed her children. Her mother was not a wicked woman. She was just a mother who didn't want her daughter to suffer the same fate. But then again, Kamsi believed in Jidena. He had never raised his voice at her. He respected her, listened to her, and treated her with love. He just didn't have money yet. Was that enough reason to leave? Then one day, she made up her mind. She sent her mother a long message. Mama, I love you. You raised me well, but I have to live my own life. I have chosen Jidena. I know it won't be easy, but I believed in us. Madam Ebere didn't reply the message. The following months, Kamsi and Jidena got married quietly. No loud music, no rented hall, no ashoebi. Just a small court wedding, and they wore a simple outfit. Only a close few friends attended, including 2 witnesses. They took photos at the registry gates, smiling, holding each other's hand. After the court wedding, they went back to their small apartment in Surulere. The sitting room had just one fan and a small TV. They didn't have much, but they were very happy. Every evening, they would cook together in the kitchen. They would laugh over silly things and dream together about what life would look like in the next 5 years. Jidena would say, one day, we will look back at this and smile. And Kamsi would reply, I just want us to be happy, that's all. It was a calm Saturday morning in Lagos. Kamsi headed to the kitchen to boil water for pap, while Jidena was still lying lazily on the bed, pressing his phone. Then came the knock. It wasn't a gentle knock at all. It sounded like the person outside came to arrest them. Kamsi frowned, Wondering who could be disturbing their peace that early morning, she walked to the door and opened it. Her eyes widened. Mama! There she was, Madam Ebere. Her wrapper was tied so tightly around her waist. You would think she was going to a village women's meeting. Surprise! She said with a wide smile, walking into the apartment without waiting for an invitation. As soon as Madam Ebere stepped in, her eyes scanned everything, like a landlord inspecting a new tenant. She dropped her bags and stood in the middle of the sitting room. Kamsi, is this where you people are living? Hey, whoa! You don't even have frog on the floor. No AC. Chai! Look at your sitting room. Before Kamsi could respond, Jidena came out of the room and greeted politely. Good morning, Mama. She turned to him slowly. Morning. This is your house? Yes, ma, he replied. I thought my daughter would be living in at least a 2-bedroom flat. But it is Swesha. Jidena smiled politely. Mama, we are managing for now. Managing? That is how it starts. My God will lift my daughter from this shame. Later that night, after dinner, she inspected the room. The moment she saw the bed, she shook her head. So you are still using your former bed? Your husband could not even buy new bed at least. Well, let me sleep here with you. Jidena can sleep in the sitting room. That chair there is okay for him. Kamsi blinked. Mama, this is our bed. And so, I carried you in my womb. That couch in the sitting room is wide enough for a man. That was how Jidena began his nightly journey on the couch, while his wife and mother-in-law slept in the bedroom. By the next morning, Madam Ebere had taken full control of the kitchen. She opened the cupboard like a custom officer, searching for smuggled goods. Now wow, you people are just eating anyhow. The egusi soup you gave me yesterday had no taste. She threw away the leftovers to cook bitter leaf soup. A real man should be eating food that strengthens his bone, she said proudly, looking at Jidena like he was a weakling. Later that day, when Jidena reached for the TV remote to catch the evening news, Madam Ebere snatched it first. Leave it there. Today's super story is hot. That your news won't change anything in this house. Jidena smiled, shifted, and picked up his phone quietly. At exactly 2 a.m. every night, the spiritual battle would begin. Madam Ebere would wake up, tie her scarf tightly, and start her prayer parade. Any man that wants to infect my daughter with spirits of poverty, Holy Ghost, fire. Any man that wants to tie my daughters down, Holy Ghost, fire. She would clap her hands and move from the bedroom to the sitting room, praying loudly like she was at a crusade. One night, Jidena begged, Mama, please, can you reduce your voice a bit? I have work in the morning. She turned to him with fire in her eyes. So you are now angry and praying. You want the devil to feel comfortable. That night, the prayer was even louder. One afternoon, Jidena returned from work to find her mother-in-law's friend, Mama Ifeoma, and eating groundnuts. Is this their kitchen? The woman asked. It is more like my store. Madam Ebere replied, my daughter is managing, but my God will provide. Jidena greeted them. They answered without looking at him. That evening, after dinner, Kamsi stood up to clear the dishes, but Jidena stopped her gently. Don't worry, babe. Sit down and rest. I will handle the plates. He picked up the tray and walked into the kitchen. It was something he had always done, nothing serious to him. But just as he was freezing the first plate, Madam Ebere barged into the kitchen with a sharp voice. "Jidena, what are you doing? You are washing plates? For what?" Jidena smiled politely. Mama, it is nothing. I'm just helping Kamsi out. We usually share house chores." Madam Ebere squeezed her face immediately. God forbid. Share chores? So you are now the house help in your own house. She turned to Kamsi. "You are sitting down while your husband is washing plates. Wonder shall never end. Kamsi, is this how I trained you?" Jidena tried to explain to Mama. "Mama, there is nothing wrong with helping one another, and I am not complaining." But she replied, "Let me tell you, only poor man have time to be doing all this. Had it been you had the proper job that keeps you busy and stressed, will you be gallivanting in the kitchen like this? Answer me." The kitchen fell silent. Jidena just stood there, holding a wet plate, clearly insulted. Kamsi's heart broke, but she could not say anything. The next morning, while Kamsi was cooking, the gas finished. Jidena said they will refill it after work. Madam Ebere eased. Back in our day, real men will find solution immediately. She left the house, bought kerosene and stove. Jidena said, "Mama, we don't use kerosene in this compound." She eased again. One afternoon, Madam Ebere opened Kamsi's wardrobe and brought out a fitted dress. She held it up like it was evil. "Kamsi, is this what you are wearing at home? Tight clothes and trousers? You have forgotten you are a wife now." She went to her bag and brought out one wrapper. "Tie this one. Let your husband know you are a responsible woman." Every time Jidena give Kamsi money for food, Madam Ebere would ask, "How much did he give you?" If it was 5,000 naira, she would say, "How can 3 people eat with 5,000 naira in this Nigeria?" One day, Jidena sent Kamsi 15,000 naira for shopping. Madam Ebere opened the text message and said, "This is why I said you should marry someone that has money. See the kind of alert you are celebrating." One quiet night after dinner, Madam Ebere sat Kamsi down on the bed and held her hand. Her tone was soft, but her words cut deep. "Kamsi, my daughter, when you were in my house, you never lacked anything." She paused and looked around the small room with pity. "Now see how you are suffering. You barely eat with fish or meat. Thank God I even brought fish from home. At least it serves all well. No running tap. You're not fetching water like a village girl. This is not the life I prayed for you. Is this what love gave you? Look me in the eye and tell me you are truly happy." Kamsi looked away, her heart already heavy. She had no answer. Not because she agreed, but because the weight of her mother's word sat heavily on her chest. That night, Kamsi didn't sleep well. Her heart was full. Kamsi was caught in the middle, trying to balance her marriage and her mother's expectation. Eventually, Madam Ebere packed her bags after spending 3 weeks. But before leaving, she dropped her final words. "Kamsi, you can endure this if you want, but I won't watch my daughter live in suffering. You still have time to change your life. I have said my own." And with that, she left with her bags. Kamsi stood at the window watching her mother leave. Jidena came beside her quietly and said, "Maybe we should have rented one-room apartment in Lekki. At least then, she will say the place is fine, even if we are dying of death." They both laughed weakly, but deep inside, Jidena was tired, emotionally and mentally. Jidena started withdrawing little by little. He felt disrespected, belittled, and unwanted in his own house. One evening, as he sat on the balcony, staring into the streets, he said quietly, "Kamsi, I know I am not a rich man, but I deserve peace in my own house. At least, let this one-bedroom flat give me peace." Kamsi stood behind him. She didn't know what to say. She was stuck. Madam Ebere didn't make it easier. Even after she returned to the east, she called Kamsi almost every other day, dropping little jabs here and there. "So this is the life you chose. You just settle for less and now you are managing. You used to eat chicken and rice. Now you are pricing shower in the markets." Sometimes she even pray over the phone and include things like, "God, open my daughter's eyes so she can leave this suffering and return to her senses." Kamsi would end the call with tears in her eyes, hiding her sadness from Jidena. Then one morning, Jidena got a call from work. The tech startup he worked with was shutting down. The investors pulled out, and just like that, his job was gone. He did not know how to break the news to Kamsi. For days, he pretended like everything was fine, until one evening, when Kamsi found him sitting on the toilet seat and looking lost. "Babe, what happened?" He looked up slowly and said, "I lost the job. It is gone." From that day, everything started going down. Bills began to pile up. Electricity, feeding, transport. The apartment rent was due in 2 months, and they did not even have half of the money. Kamsi began to skip meals just to stretch the little they had. She stopped doing her hair, and her cheerful face slowly faded. Jidena became quiet, always lost in thoughts. He would lie down for hours, staring at the ceiling. The worst part, Madam Ebere called the same week, and Kamsi begged her mom to borrow them money and that her husband just lost his job. Wait, so he does not have a job again? Ha! Kamsi, how many signs do you want to see before you leave that boy? You are still young, girl. Don't waste your life. Kamsi cried that night, not because of the money, but because everything she feared was happening and she did not know how to stop it. Just when the tension in their home was becoming unbearable, Madam Ebere showed up again, but this time not as a visitor. She entered the house shaking her head. As she looked around, "Kamsi," she dropped her wrapper on the couch. "You are living with me today. Enough is enough. Is this what you call marriage? Is this the dream you told me about when you were in school?" Kamsi looked down, too weak to argue. Jidena replied, "Mama, please," he said calmly. "Just give us little time. Things are hard now, but I promise I will bounce back." Madam Ebere turned to him. "Bounce back when? You are still dreaming when my daughter is starving. She has lost weight. She's not looking like herself again. You want her to die here before you bounce back?" Jidena felt hopeless, but he said nothing. "Kamsi, go and pack your things. You are coming with me now. You will stay in my house and eat proper food. This is not marriage." Kamsi walked into the room and began to pack her bag. Jidena sat on the edge of the chair, watching her every move. He didn't beg her again. He had said all he could say. When she came out with her small bag, their eyes met, watching her walk out of their home with her mother leading the way. Back in Enugu, Madam Ebere wasted no time. She introduced Kamsi to Chief Uzo, a well-known widower in the community. He was in his late 50s, a man with deep pockets and strong political connections. Everybody called him Odogu. He had houses in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and a mansion in the village that looked like a palace. He never lacked anything, except maybe a young wife to warm his old age, as people used to whisper. This is the kind of man you should have married from the beginning, not that one that was dragging suya with you in Lagos. At first, Kamsi was cold. Her heart was still broken. She was thinking of Jidena and all the promises they had made together. But the prayer kept coming. Chief Uzo started sending gifts almost every day. He even gave Madam Ebere a brand new deep freezer. "My daughter, open your eyes. God has brought your destiny helper," her mother would tell her. "You better say yes before another woman snatch him away from you." Kamsi eventually said yes. The traditional wedding was loud and glamorous. People came from far and near. The food did not finish. Kegs of palm wine, crates of drinks, music everywhere. Madam Ebere was glowing in her gold lace and her matching hair tie. "My daughter has finally married well," she told her friends. "I can now rest." But barely 1 month after the wedding, Kamsi began to see a different version of Chief Uzo. It started with small controls. "No more trousers. Women should not dress like men. I don't want that your Lagos friend calling you again. I don't like her tone." He installed CCTV cameras in almost every corner of the house. He claimed it was for security, but it felt like she was being watched all the time. Even when she cooked, she felt all eyes are on her. He would call her to his room through intercom and say things like, "I saw you spending 10 minutes on the call. Who are you communicating with?" She couldn't breathe. When Kamsi got pregnant, it got really hard on her. One day, she made cereal instead of cooking because she was tired to cook. Chief Uzo didn't like that. He got really angry. "This is how you treat your husband, huh? You think because you are carrying my child, you can relax?" Before she could explain, he slapped her. She held her belly and walked slowly to the bathroom, crying silently. Another time, because she did not greet him with enough respect when his friends came visiting. Because of that, he locked her inside the room for a whole day. No food, no water. He never asked how the baby was doing, not even a suggestion to get help or a nanny around the house. To him, she was just a trophy wife, something to show off at parties. Pregnancy was really hard on her. She would cry at night, holding her pillow tight, whispering prayers to God. "God, what did I do wrong? I just wanted peace. I just wanted love." Sometimes she would press her belly and speak to the unborn child. "I'm sorry you have come to the world like this. I'm so sorry." She missed Jidena. She missed joy. She missed the days of eating Indomie at midnight and laughing over cheap movies. Now, she's surrounded by luxury, but there was no joy. He did not even allow her mother to visit. When she finally gave birth, he did not show up at the hospital. He sent his driver. And even after the child came, nothing changed. He wanted silence in the house. No crying or baby should disturb his sleep. One night he shouted, "Can you just tell your child to shut up?" Kamsi sat in a corner, carrying the baby and cried. She had everything people prayed for: money, cars, gold. But inside, she was empty, like a bird in a golden cage. If only she had known. If only she had fought harder for her first home. If only she had stood her ground. and her heart kept whispering the same question every night. Was it worth it? Kamsi could not take it anymore. One night, after Chief Uzo slapped her, this time while she was breastfeeding, and something inside her broke. Her left cheek was swollen, and the baby cried helplessly in her arms. She looked in the mirror. She could no longer recognize the woman staring back. The woman in the reflection looked tired, worn out, and hopeless. It was not the same Kamsi who once had dreams of love and peace. So while Chief Uzo snored in the sitting room, she quickly packed the small bag, just small baby clothes, diapers, and little cash she had been hiding. She wrapped her baby and quietly stepped out of the gates. It was raining slightly, and the night was quiet. Her legs were shaking, but she did not stop. She kept walking until she found a bike that took her to her friend's place. By morning, she was already on a bus headed to Nzuka. Her mother's younger sister, Auntie Grace, took her in immediately. "Don't worry, my child, you are safe here," the woman said, hugging her tightly. "No man has the right to treat you like this." For weeks, Kamsi did not talk much. One evening, Auntie Grace came back from the market with gist. "Do you know Jidena is now a big man?" she said. Kamsi looked up slowly. "Which Jidena?" "Your ex-husband now. I heard he opened his own tech company in Lagos. They said he now works with Oyinbo clients. In fact, he spoke in one big tech conference in Dubai. His pictures are online. You can go and check it." Kamsi felt like someone poured cold water on her. That night, when her baby slept, she took her phone and went to social media. And there, he saw Jidena standing on a stage in Dubai, wearing a sharp suit, holding a microphone, and smiling confidently. Tears rushed down her eyes. This was the same man my mother called jobless, the same man she left behind. With shaky hands, Kamsi dialed his number. It rang twice before he picked. "Hello?" His voice was calm but distant. She broke down instantly. "Jidena, it's me, Kamsi." She sniffed, trying to talk clearly. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I should never have left. I was scared. I didn't know life would turn out like this. You were the only person that truly loved me." There was silence on the line. Then in a low voice, he said, "I love you, Kamsi. I really did. I was ready to go through the fire with you. But you left me. You left me when I needed you the most. I begged you, but you chose to follow what looked easy. I did not hate you, but I let you go." She was crying. "Please, please, can we try again?" His voice was soft but firm. "I have moved on. I don't say this to hurt you, but to help you find peace. I wish you the best, truly, but please move on." And then the call ended. Kamsi stared at the screen, tears rolling down her face. She had lost the man who truly loved her. Kamsi returned to Enugu with nothing but her baby, a small traveling bag, and a heart full of sorrow. She walked into her mother's compound quietly. "Kamsi, you are back?" Her mother looked up surprised. Kamsi nodded slowly, too tired to explain anything. Her face was pale. The baby was fast asleep. Without any word, she walked inside. For days, Kamsi did not speak much. Her mother kept asking her, "Why are you here with your baby?" But she remained silent. Then, one afternoon, she sat her mother down and she began, "Mama, do you know you have destroyed my life? You told me to leave Jidena to marry Chief." She narrated everything she faced in Chief's house. She was like, Mama, why? Why did you push me to face hell? The mother replied, so, why are you blaming me? Did I put a knife on your throat to agree with me? You called yourself an adult, so you should be able to make your own personal decisions. If you truly love Jidena, would you have left him? I advised you. You can choose to take it or not. So Biko, don't you ever blame me. Kamsi shook her head slowly, her eyes full of pain. You are my mother. I trusted your judgment. You kept saying Jidena was not good enough, that I was suffering. You painted Chief Uzo like he was heaven sent, Madam Ebere East, and you could not see with your eyes. You are not a baby, Kamsi. You made your choice. Another tear rolled down her cheek. I was okay in Jidena's house. It was not perfect, but there was peace. We had love. I was content, but you made me feel like I was living in poverty. Madam Ebere replied, you are the one that allowed yourself to be deceived. Kamsi was bittered. She cried day and night and regretted her action. She had lost Jidena, the man who truly loved her, who fought through hardship and wanted to build with her, the man who begged her to stay when things were rough, but she left, not because she did not love him, but because she allowed voices louder than her own heart to decide for her. Now, she was back to square one. If she could turn back the hands of time, she would have chosen differently. But life does not give you a rewind button. All she had now was a lesson. Never allow outsiders, even family, to be the driver of your relationship or marriage. Wisdom is knowing where you draw the line. Marriage is only between husband and wife. The battle should be you against the world and not you against each other. Don't let emotions, prayer, or traditions to blind you. Just because someone means well does not mean that their advice is right for you. Madam Ebere actually meant well, but her advice was not right. We've come to the end of the story. I hope you enjoy listening to it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time. Bye.